Back in the day, it was very common for Disney animators to make a maquette for reference, so I decided to make one for a character from a book series of mine called Lotus Fall. In part 1, I did my due diligence in character design, which you can watch here. In this video, I'll be plunging in to try and make all of it translate to 3D. My first pass here is just the armature and then Sculpey Firm. I don't think I like Firm very much. I got an electric pasta maker to condition this clay, and even after multiple passes through, it was still cranky and brittle. I'd worked previously with Sculpey's Living Doll and liked it a lot better. I also used Cos clay for his furry pointy bits that might want to break off. They did. I just did a pass over the wire with Firm to have a really strong core and baked. I don't do polymer clay sculpting like a normal person. I've watched a ton of sculpting videos here on YouTube, and everyone seems to be able to keep going with the clay until the whole thing is done. But I've also seen other people, less experienced, who end up having their sculpture droop a little or collapse. I am both a subtractive and additive sculptor, and just clumsy enough to smush the good work I've already done while trying to work on a separate spot. I've learned from experience to bake, but also that my ugly stages are spectacularly ugly. This is not a good wolf. This is first pass after the Firm and an unmitigated disaster. The head is looking pretty good, but this guy has to be a reference eventually, and he's barely even a blob dog. So I do what I usually do and cut him to pieces. I come from the model horse realm of sculpting work, where nothing is ever incapable of being adjusted. It can be plastic or epoxy or wire, but if it's not working, you cut it off and try again. The only thing I really liked at all was his tail, so I left it intact. I cut off his head and sculpted on it separately. I take things and check my anatomy. My pincher swoops in to save the day again. My sketchbook is also there to check the specifics of the character. I use a Sharpie and mark out what needs to be cut and Dremel from there. I like Dremel work because it provides straight lines and right angles, which is pretty critical to making both sides look the same. In small doses, it gives me flow, and it's very satisfying to do. This is the subtractive part of my sculpting method, and I like working this way. His head looks good. He's got the arch skull, a big nose, snout is long enough to be wolfy. Too long, I decided later. I drilled holes for pins and sculpted his sockets. The most trouble I had was with the second ear and getting it to look like the first. We're starting to get into his body type looking good, though when I put it back together, his fourth leg didn't touch the ground. Ugh, I will pay for this so badly. I really just ended up getting stuck on his hairstyle, and I should have done my due diligence there. I was lax about sketching it out, so no wonder I had trouble. Lesson learned? Oh, so many lessons learned for this. I was also struggling with his proportions. You have to kill your darlings, I'm afraid. I thought his snout was too long, so I cut that off and redid things. One leg keeps breaking, and I thought his back was too short, but I am finally starting to lay down floof as final shape language. Here are some drawings I did of his mane and hair. I was too afraid to go back to the drawing board, as it were, but a friend told me to just focus on the problem area. For some reason, I thought I had to revamp the whole character. Your mind can set up roadblocks, and I really have been struggling to finish projects. This was the moment I think I would have quit. Okay, the first moment. Instead, I took a break for a day, I took a deep breath, and I drew some wolf hairstyles. I'm really trying on the fur here. I want anime wolf fur, which is distinctly different from real wolf fur. But things are really starting to come together here, and I'm pleased. Really liking the fur shape over his hips and on his leg muscles. Nice simplified shapes. I try to learn from Mike Mignola. He makes Hellboy look hairy all over by giving him 3 strands of hair. I do feel like his mane is a bit visually busy, though. Simplify, simplify, simplify. I am pleased with his emo hair. I wanted to try and make his hair look like it was part of his ruff, not like I'd put a wig on him. Anime wolves have a lot of hair on their mane, and my first pass tried to have that. And that's the point of passes. I actually got some stuff I'd like to keep, and I can make things better. Wolves have a line from their eye to the edge of their face, and also have a fur dealie on their neck that runs down to their chest. Their chests are also weird because they have this huge sternum that's like a keel bone, and then their shoulders are an inch away from it. I really had to go back and pay attention to some things I kind of took for granted anatomy-wise. Oh my god, stop breaking. Oh my god, stop breaking! Stop breaking! Ugh. Okay. Clearly, the whole idea of Sculpey acts just like plastic and epoxy thing is not true, and I fully admit to being an idiot about this. I was repairing things every day, and I was taking way too long to finish. And this was the second big moment where I wanted to quit, mostly because so much of this was self-inflicted. I finally broke out my epoxy sculpt to just finish repairing his front legs. Perfect as the enemy have done. Let's just start painting him. Boss is a black wolf, but even black animals have some layers of color to them. Boss is a black wolf that molts gold, which is a really beautiful thing to see in real life. He'll have a little gold on him. I mixed in some brown for his black areas. I ate a lot of humble pie over this. I made so much more work for myself and ended up with something way more piecemeal than I would have liked. But this is as good as this particular project is gonna get, so enjoy some glamour shots. If you liked, subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video.